Hey guys, welcome to the video. I'm so excited to share these thrift flips with you. These were the first projects that I did with my sewing machine that I got for Christmas, which I'm so excited about. And they honestly all went so much better than I could have imagined. And it makes me so excited to make more stuff, make more stuff with the sewing machine. I'm so pumped. You'll see so many of these videos. Let's get right into it. For my first project, I have this khaki colored skirt, but it's obviously just a little bit too long, too big. It also had built-in shorts, which were so uncomfortable. So all I wanted to do was to shorten it a little bit and take it in and to take the shorts out. I started off by attempting to seam rip out the built-in shorts. I thought this was going to be a lot easier than it was. It honestly took me so much longer than I thought it was going to, but once I cut the shorts out, it made it a little bit easier to get to the seams and to seam rip them. This honestly made the biggest difference in the skirt. It turned this bulky, ill-fitting piece of clothing into a great lightweight summer skirt. Next, I wanted to hem the skirt. I tried it on and I pinned it where I thought it would look best. Then I took it off and measured how much needed to be hemmed, and then I measured around the entire skirt and marked with a pencil. Honestly, I went into these projects with a very limited knowledge of sewing or anything like this. I was basically just learning as I went. I knew I needed to leave room for seam allowance, but I didn't know exactly how much or what the standard is, so I just eyeballed everything. Once I had everything measured and marked, I cut off the excess fabric, folded it over, and ironed it so it would be easier to put through the sewing machine, and then I pinned it into place. Before this, I hadn't used a sewing machine since literally 7th grade home ec class, or maybe watching my grandparents repair small pieces of clothing throughout the years. I got this sewing machine for Christmas this year actually, because I wanted to start learning how to sew again in 2023. So I ran the skirt through the sewing machine once and I was a little nervous at first, but I got the hang of it. Next, I put the skirt on inside out. I saw another girl do this. I honestly have no idea if it's a normal thing to do, but it seemed like it would be a lot easier. The skirt was a little bit too big, so I just wanted to take in the sides just to make it fit perfectly. Looking back, I wonder if I should have waited to hem the bottom of the skirt until after I took in the sides. I don't really know. So I pinned the skirt where it felt comfortable, and then I went back to the sewing machine. I adjusted the pins to make everything more even, and I sewed down each side. Everything was going great and dandy until I knew this would happen eventually. I accidentally ran over one of those little metal grommets that was on the side of the skirt. But what I didn't know was how to replace a broken needle. So after a quick Google search and a couple of minutes, the needle was replaced and we were back on track. Because this fabric isn't stretchy, I'm just using a straight stitch, and I'm making sure to back stitch at the start and end of each seam to prevent it from unraveling. When I was done, I trimmed the extra threads, and this is how it turned out. I am so excited for warmer weather so that I can wear this skirt. It fits so well now. Instead of being bulky and ill-fitting, it's now this perfect lightweight summer skirt. I love the color. I love how it fits me. I think it's so cute and casual, and I can wear it a bunch of different ways, and I'm really happy that I fixed it. The next one was pretty similar. This skirt just needed to be hemmed a little bit. I loved the pattern and the color of it, and I think I thrifted it for $5. I did basically the same thing with this one. I tried it on and I pinned it where I felt it needed to be hemmed. Again, looking back, I think I should have hemmed second and taken in the sides first, but you live and you learn. I took the pins out, measured how much length needed to be taken off, and then measured around the skirt like I did with the first one, marking where I needed to with the white pencil, and then going in with my rotary cutter and trimming the excess fabric. Again, I folded and ironed the edges to make everything easier on me. This is so helpful. I know it's a pretty basic trick, but it works so well and saves me a lot of time and headache. This skirt is more of a stretchy material than the first one, so instead of a straight stitch, I opted for a zigzag stitch, so the seams will stretch with the fabric. I also used a specific thread that was meant to stretch. I sent the skirt through the machine, and I tried not to stretch the skirt while I was feeding it through. I guess I lost the footage of me trying it on for the second time, but I did put it on inside out again and pin the sides where they needed to be, and then did the same thing like the first one and just sewed a seam down each side of the skirt to take in the sides. This skirt looks so much better now. It is amazing how just the length and the fit of a skirt or a piece of clothing can change how it looks so drastically. I love this skirt now. It's like one of my favorite things. I honestly think if you're looking for cute mini skirts and you know some basic sewing skills, flipping skirts from the thrift store is so easy. They don't have to fit you perfectly, but you can make them fit you in just a few steps. You guys might remember these jeans from a few videos ago. I thrifted them a while ago, and I bought them to just be oversized baggy jeans, but they just never fit me that great, so I figured I would turn them into shorts. I guess the theme of this video is doing things out of sequence because, again, I know for sure I should have waited to hem these or cut them until after I'd already taken them in, but obviously I was not thinking in the moment. Anyway, I put a pair of my favorite denim shorts on top of these to give me a measurement, and then I used my rotary cutter to trim the excess fabric. Then I put them on inside out, and I did what I saw another girl do on YouTube. It looked like it worked really well for her, so I figured I would try it. Basically, I took a pen because a pencil wasn't dark enough, and I gathered the excess fabric in the back, this really cute, attractive angle, and as I pulled it as tight as I could and just drew a line down each side to give me a little bit of a guide of where the pins needed to go instead of trying to pin behind my back. So you can tell there, I just took the pen and ran it down the sides after I had grabbed enough fabric to make the shorts fit me better. Does that make sense? After that, I took the shorts off and laid them flat and started pinning along the lines I drew. I used safety pins because getting these shorts off and on a bunch of times with straight pins is literally impossible. And I also seam ripped off the belt loop because I was going to be sewing and I didn't want to lose it. So I put that aside to reattach later. Once I had it pinned, I put them back on to see how they fit before sewing them. They needed to be adjusted just a little bit. They were still kind of baggy in a couple of spaces. So I took them off and moved the pins where they needed to be, and then I turned them right side out and put them back on just to double check the fit before sewing them. I don't know how they look from the back. I'm worried that the pockets are gonna be too close, so I might have to move the pockets. I don't even know. Yeah, I think I am gonna have to move the pockets. I can't believe how good these fit. I made sure to buy stronger needles since I'm working with denim, but the machine seemed to keep getting stuck if the fabric was too thick, like if I was going over a thicker part of the pants. I still don't really know exactly what was happening, but I had to stop a few times to fix this. Every time it would happen, I'd have to turn my machine off and manually remove the needle from the jeans and then restart. After lots of frustration, we finally got it done and I put them on to test out the fit. They were pretty good, but still just a little bit baggy in some spots, so I repinned and did it again, making sure to match up the first seam with the second seam where I was just adjusting little bits and pieces of it, if that makes sense. This was kind of just a guessing game and a lot of just trying the shorts on, adjusting, and then re-sewing and repeating. But after a few rounds of this, I was finally satisfied with the fit. After I was satisfied with the fit, I trimmed away the extra fabric from the inside and I started removing the pockets because they needed to be moved. They were too close to where that new center seam was. I probably should have taken the shorts in from both the sides and the back because of the location of the pockets and how much they needed to be adjusted, but it was already too late. So I just went in and seam ripped all the pockets and removed all of the excess thread and set them off to the side. After all of the thread was cleaned up and a little bit of moving things around, I finally decided where I wanted to have the pockets be, so I pinned them in place and went over to the sewing machine again. I attached that center belt loop that we took off earlier and the pockets, and just as I was finishing one of the pockets, I realized that the front pocket, like the fabric that's on the inside, was stuck and had been sewn into the shorts while I was reattaching the back pocket. So I had to go back and seam rip that. Luckily, it didn't take very long, and I had to redo putting the pocket on, making sure that the other fabric was out of the way this time. I love how these turned out. I was originally going to fold over and finish the hem, but I kind of like the light distressing, and also because I cut the shorts first before adjusting the fit, I think they'd be too short if I finished the hem, so this is the final product. They fit me perfectly, and I kind of like how the pockets look different now since they were moved. Like, I like the little bit of a contrast. I thrifted this knitted tank a while ago, thinking that it would give like that knit vest or crochet vibes, but it never really fit right. So I wanted to turn it into something I'd actually wear. I think those one button knit vests are so cute, and I wanted it to be something like that. I cut straight down the middle to separate the two front pieces of the vest. I knew this material would be difficult to work with, and I didn't know how to finish the hem, so it didn't unravel. But I thought I'd struggle using this type of material in the sewing machine, so I basically just hand sewed around the raw edge as best I could to prevent any unraveling. This took me surprisingly long, and I kept running out of thread and having to start over again. Once I was done, I grabbed these buttons that I got from Hobby Lobby and I sewed one on quickly, and this is how it turned out. I think it is so much cuter now, and I think it just fits better. I think it's more flattering. I might end up switching out the button to a bigger button, but I don't really know yet. I like this so much better than I did the original, so I'm happy with it. I'm so excited about how these turned out. They turned out better than I ever could have imagined. I'm honestly pretty proud of myself. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this because I'm sure there will be plenty, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.